Hi guys, it's Jake from White for Tactical, and today we have the brand new Novritsch SSR74.
The Novritsch SSR74 Short.
It is their AK AEG platform, right? It's brand new into the UK, and we are here to showcase it to you guys. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this up close, so we'll do a little overview right now, look at the box, we'll do an up close of the actual product itself, and then we'll get it on the range and get some range time to see how accurate it is and just how it performs firing, what it feels like, the rest of it. Point to note, as you can see right here behind me, just out of shot, okay, or in shot should I say, we do have the short variant too. So there are two of these models. You've got the short and you have the long. Off the bat, nice and weighty. They feel really nice, sturdy platform, some nice little features which I will point out closer in detail that you'll be able to see a little bit better. And yeah, it looks like a nice modern AK. Let's have a little bit more deeper dive in what actually makes it different than all the others that are out there on the market at the moment. But before we do that, we'll take a look at what comes in the box. So, standard fashion, obviously we've got two boxes here, as you may see. One is the short, one is the long. Looks exactly the same, however, you'll see on the rifle itself here, you've got the S and you have the L, and obviously the print is respective of the short and the long variant, right? So we'll take a look at the inside of the long box, since that's the one that we have in front of me right here. Pretty simple box, nothing crazy. It's the normal Novritsch packaging, nice sturdy, decent box, so all the same, you know, nice protective in there, got the barcodes on it, and just the blueprints of the rifle itself. Yep. Then opening it up on the inside, we've got your QR code to take you to the Novritsch website, and we have backing foam, Allen key set, the one mag, which these are 200 round AK mags, which is actually quite a nice little feature, which is almost the same as having an Amarak mag or an EPM. It's no longer a mid cap of 120 rounds. You're getting a 200 round mid cap there, which is decent. And then you also get your little guide as well for Novritsch. Again, minimal packaging here, minimal things inside the box. You don't get too much thrills. It's just packing foam, information guide, spare magazine, and a cleaning rod as well. Unlike obviously things with the SSL4, you've got some replacement parts. SSQ4, you've got the replacement rod. With this one, there's no extra parts in there. It might be that it's just not needed. Looking at the rifle itself, you can see obviously it has on the front here, nice little M-lock rail. You've got a folding stock on there, Picatinny across the top to put your optics straight onto it. And then yeah, we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive and a close-up look of all of the extra parts onto it, so we can really see what makes this different than other AK platforms. Right then, taking a look at them a little bit more close up now, you can see the size difference of the short and the long. And I mean, if I lay it over the top here, you can kind of see that a little bit better. So it's quite a significant difference. And I'd probably say if you're planning to run it in CQB, the short one is obviously going to be the one for you. The long one you might get away with, but it is a little bit longer. The only thing that gives me a reason why you might be able to still use that indoors is the fact it has that folding stock. So if you did want to take the stock down, obviously then use it indoors and fold it in half, you're still going to have a really good benefit from that. Now there's a few different obviously points here which I will mention about the specs of the weapon. The stock itself has three height positions, so you could change it with the Picatinny here by unscrewing it on the back and adjusting it up or down if you want lower or higher cheek positions, okay, which is quite a nice little feature. 23 rounds a second with an 11-1 battery, which is a decent rate of fire. It's nothing crazy, it's not DSG, but it's still a really decent rate of fire. You then also have, again, programmable electronic trigger unit. It's a quick spring change, so it's a V2 gearbox obviously on the back, and you should kind of be able to see that just behind here. So if you did want to change that spring, you can do that. You then also have the pre-upgraded internal components, which obviously will be Novritsch's whatever special sauce they're putting inside their weapons at the time. And by looking at it, I'm probably going to say it's a decent, you know, hop rubber, hop unit, piston with air seal. You know, the usual kind of upgrades that you find with many of his products, all right? You can also see some external kind of features as well, which are a little bit different than the usual AKs. So obviously you've got your selector switch on the side. You can see here it's got the extended thumb panel, which is nice. If you're holding it, obviously in your right hand, you can adjust that down by your finger, okay, and thumb if you need to, but finger would be the one to quick change that rather than having to move it all the way over. You've then also got this extended kind of flat bolt release, which is different for AK styling. It's like a rounded, but it gives quite a nice feel. The hop itself, you can see, is actually a CNC hop. Now, There is still a brass barrel in there, and I do find that 90% of companies are still using brass barrels inside their kit. But you can see in here it's got the SSR74 hop adjustment tool, or whatever that might be, or the hop on the inside, which locks it all back in. A little bit rattly, so I'm not sure if you're supposed to move that out first, but yeah, you've got a quite decent hop inside there as well, which is nice to see. It's quite interesting actually how that hop works. So, right, okay, I'll have to have a look at that. Maybe I think that might be a removable piece. So inside here, no, it isn't. I think it's just come loose, which is great for a video. Spacers for the hop, possibly, potentially. I'll have to take a look at that. So it's quite interesting. Let's do it on the video. So in here, you've got your hop, this little arrow that says back and down, and SSR74 is on the side of it. And it looks like it would be some kind of like tool, like rotary tool, but it's just loose inside there. And you can see in that one, it's over the front of the hop, and it's kind of like locked in a bit more. But the other one, it was loose. So this one here, it's in there. It should be sat down in there, I think. But I mean, that's different. Yeah, so the hop should be over like so. However, that came loose in that little bit there where it's been in transit, I assume. So it'd be interesting to see if that actually holds in place for very long. But it seems to be, and hopefully you can see that on the video, that little wedge kind of just holds everything in place as a spacer. And the next part, which is this, will bed into the side. So I'll have to make sure I get that right. I don't want to get this wrong, especially on video, when everybody here is going to comment on it saying, you're doing it wrong. Again, it's our first time getting these out of the box and kind of getting hands-on, so we're finding it. I would guess that this bit goes behind. It's going to be really hard to do on camera in front of everybody, but I would say that bit sits down the side like so. That wedges over the top to secure the hop in. But you know, I might be wrong here. So it's something for me to have a little play with, make sure we get it in right. But it's spacers for the hop by the looks of it. Maybe they just come loose in transit, but we can address that at a later point rather than slowing the video down. So you've got a CNC hop inside there as well. And then you have this really nice Cerakoted kind of feel to the front rail. And this is a nice like flat finish. It kind of doesn't feel shiny or metallic like the rest of the rifle. Okay, you can see here it's like a bluey kind of shiny effect. This is a matte flat color. Same as the rail on the top. The rail's got the same kind of finish on the top of it, which is really nice, and it's all M-LOK, which is nice and modern. It gives you the opportunity to be able to put loads of attachments onto it, unlike in many AKs where you can't obviously drop stuff on there. And you've got a really nice modern styled muzzle flash, which has a little QD point in the bottom for you to unscrew to then obviously take that off to put tracer on it or anything else, and an imitation gas block here, which you can see, and it does kind of click around as well, which is quite a nice little feature to have on the back. A set of iron sights that are built into the top of the rail, which is nice again for AKs with a rail on top. Normally there's no iron sights on there, and it does have that rail straight away. Now the stock itself hinges via the button on the back, and you can just push that round to latch over on the side. That's what it looks like in, and it does hold its place. It doesn't fold out on itself, right, which is again good. You just pull it out, and then obviously you can do it. I've not got that all the way in, which there we go, which obviously holds that in place. And you've got a couple of QD points as well on the back, which gives you the option to throw a sling on there, and you've got the sight rail for the side, not that you need it because you've got the rail mount on the top there, which is quite nice. Now the block itself, like this bit here, because it's really decent build of material, it's really solid, and the rest of the frame is really, really very strong, same as the stock itself. It feels really sturdy and quite weighty and heavy, which is a nice thing for it to feel like, rather than being obviously plastic and polymer. Itself, and it weighs itself roughly about 3.36 kilo for the longer version compared to the short version. The short one's just obviously a little bit lighter with that. Okay, the thread at the end is still a 14mm counterclockwise, and as I mentioned earlier, the magazines, they are a 200 round capacity magazine, which is quite good, and they come obviously with the weapon, but also separately as boxes after, which we have got plenty of these available too, which are obviously normal Novritsch magazines. We'll get one out just for a quicker look to see how they are looking and performing on the camera a little bit closer. So this has you can hear it in my hands. It's like a flat kind of finish on there. Again, it's not a shiny plastic. It's almost like a friction. No, not stippled. It's just got a tiny grain to it ever so slightly, and it looks like the modern, obviously, AK-74 style mag. Mid cap wind filter at the top, no wind at the bottom. Minimalistic design, again, just nice and simple. There's no Novritsch markings on there. It is just a standard magazine, as you can see, but it does hold 200 rounds in there. And for the UK, they're $13.99, so they're not too expensive. Now, the price point of the rifles in the UK, obviously with import and everything else and customs, obviously takes it up for Novritsch a little bit more for the UK. So we're looking at 320 for the long one and 289 for the short one. And if you've got membership, obviously, with us at Rift, and you can get your 5% discount on Novritsch as well, which is quite nice. But it gives you a little bit of a discount there if you are shopping with us. They are on the website, and we will obviously give a little test in a minute to see how they fire. But if you did want to get one of these, you can check them out at whitesfortactical.co.uk. But yeah, let's get them on the point. Let's have a fire. Let's see how they perform on the range itself, and then we can do a little final verdict if we think they're worth it compared to other AKs that are on the market at the moment.
Okay, so we're going to fire about 10 rounds at the target just to kind of see how the zeroing it is for the group. So we're just looking for not exactly where it is on the target, but just how tight that little grouping is, okay? Let's give about 10 shots and we'll see how we get on. We're using 2s and we're using an 11-1 battery as well. Okay, let's take a look.
Right then, so you can see actually we've got a little bit of spread upwards here, and that could have just been a couple of rounds inside there that may have just been more affected by the hop. Now, we haven't turned the hop on more than just a quarter of a turn just to make sure it is engaging. And also, we haven't bedded the weapon in. It does state on the specs of Novritsch's website that this is a brand new weapon. You need to bed it in first for the best results, which we don't do, but we don't do that with any of the weapons that we get to do on the channel. So realistically, looking at that, there's a couple of strays up there, but that is quite an impressive, decent group there. I'm not looking at the bullseye, don't care about that, but this section here and the ones that are, pretty tight. There's no sway left or right. It's more just up and down, which just indicates to me that there's a little bit of hop play on there. I don't think it's loose hop. I just think it's, again, just wearing in realistically. But you're going to get that no matter what. That's probably one of the best, narrowest kind of groupings that we've actually had on the range so far. And that was just using the short one. We didn't use the long one on that one. You might see a slightly different amount of accuracy at distance on the long, but for this range here, just to gauge the performance, we're not really bothered about obviously the long distance. So the battery inside it is 11-1. It's quite tight fit in there. You do want the decent stick on. I've used a triple, a nunchuck crane, which is quite big and it's tight in there. It's very tight. To the point that I can barely just get out to my hop, right? But it is there. Now the feel and quality of it is really good. I'd compare this towards like an LCT in the way it feels. It's just very heavy, very sturdy. It doesn't feel like there's much play on many of the things apart from the hop thing which fell out. Now, point to note, I did take that apart and have a look at the hop, obviously in the break of that video there. And I think it was just a case of whoever has assembled this didn't do it correctly when they put it in, and it was kind of just left loose floating about. So the way that I've done it here is there's a little T-bar that goes down first, followed by the hop bit, and then you can push it all in with the bolt back, but you can't do it when the bolt's in because it doesn't give you enough space and freedom to do that. There's also the QR code there, which you can see, which gives you the programming of the weapon itself and all the specs. But again, for an airsoft gun, it's pretty good. It's pretty self-explanatory. Tiny bit of wobble on that stock I could feel at the back on this one, but it may just be a case of a couple of loose screws. But the firing of it is very, very light on the trigger. Now it has got a flat trigger, and it's a speed kind of trigger, but actually the consistency of it is really nice, and it's very responsive, very sharp, really accurate so far from here. Again, more distance would be the telltale sign for it. Moving it onto full auto. I don't know how much you can see on that video, but it's quite accurate, it's quite straight, and it's quite impressive. So for me, the overall look of it, to see if it's something that I think I'd buy myself personally. I'm not an AK guy. I don't really have any AKs in my airsoft kit, but if I had an electric weapon and I want something that was new, modern, that got all the accessories, the rails, without having to put anything onto it, and I wasn't one of those type of people that just wanted specific era weapons, then I definitely think this is a contender. And so far, performance obviously shows really, really good at this range here. The build, the quality of it is great. Obviously, the next test will just be the test of time to see how it performs, obviously, over the next like year or so. But they're really nice. And the long and the short version, the short one for me is just enough. I do like a longer rifle, but I feel like kind of puts it a little bit too long for me for an AK platform. But yeah, I think they're a great product so far, from what I can see. Hopefully, again, going forward, it continues to be a really good AK. And we have them in stock, like I say, guys. Check them out online. You can see them on the website. Any questions and stuff that you want to throw towards us, you can pop it into the comments. What I will do very quickly is just give you a chrono, but we don't want to forget, obviously, the chronograph. So let's squidge over this way. Apologies, normally I preset this up, but we'll do it now anyway. So we are going to quickly just set this onto twos, because we're firing twos. So we're on 2 grams there. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll move you closer. There we go. Let's just get a little bit of that there. Bit more bodge on this, apologies, because I should have done this prior, but might as well do it while we're here. So giving it a little test, single shot, 0.89, 308, 302, 307, 307, 308. There we go, 0.89 to 0.9 joule, and on full auto. Quite a decent little bit of consistency there. You know, it's not too much fluctuation, which is nice to see. You know, this is on 2s. Could it do with a bit of a more power on it? Possibly, but it's a V2 gearbox with a quick spring change, and also, you know, the hop may bed in a bit more with a bit more turning on. With some higher weights, you might get different reading on that as well to get it closer to 1.1. Overall, quite impressed. I think for me, if I was going to be you know, looking to get on these products, I definitely think an AK that's a new AK with all the mod cons would be the Novritsch SSR74. If you did like the videos, guys, please like, subscribe, and obviously follow the channel for more airsoft content, and we will see you soon.